what is the watch that you get, what are that you recommend, the trainer that you use, the bike computer. Well, guess who I met yesterday?
It's bad.
Morning, Trainiacs. That's it. Interbike 2017 in Vegas, over. And as you can see, I'm at the airport. Rather than subject you to an entire day of jump cuts from me going from here to Denver to home, and then from home to the couch, we did something really cool yesterday. And if you have asked me what the best triathlon watch is, bike computer is, trainer is, odds are over the past couple of years I've told you DC Rainmaker, i.e. Rainmaker. Well, guess who I met yesterday and got to answer for mid-2017 what the best triathlon watch is, budget triathlon watch, bike trainer, bike computer is. And we just had a good chat. Check it out. So, Trainiacs of all ages, I'm here with Rainmaker, aka DC Rainmaker. Do you want to introduce yourself to the gang? I call them Trainiacs.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know how to say it. It's at Interbike, so obviously enjoying all that is left of the last Interbike here in Vegas. It's kind of crazy. We were just chatting before about how like it seems busy at first if you haven't been at Interbike, and then as you're walking around, it's like, wait, it's so quiet. I mean, like if you look behind us, there's no one on this entire road. There's no one there. It's bad. So like I went to demo day.
it's bad.
Yeah.
So Ray runs DC Rainmaker. You've done it since 2007.
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
Started out as a blog.
Yep. Yeah.
YouTube channel, podcast now.
Yeah, that's crazy. You
just keep adding on, and primarily with reviewing triathlon tech, right?
Yeah. Swim, bike, run goodness, basically.
Yeah.
No like basketball stuff or anything, just
no basketball
swim, bike,
stuff, no.
Yeah.
And why we brought Ray here is because I often get the question, as I'm sure you get it 100 times more than I do, what is the watch that you get, what are that you recommend, the trainer that you use, the bike computer, and typically I always say just go check out Ray's site, because I have basically just bought what he has recommended, and the in-depth reviews that you do are so much beyond what I would ever do. So, to answer some questions about what are the favorite pieces of tech that you use, let's do some sort of rapid fire 2 to 3 minute answers of, let's start with, what is the go-to triathlon watch that you recommend and why?
Yep.
And we'll say, in this case, money is not a factor.
Money is not a factor. So I would say probably either the Phoenix 5 or the 935 from Garmin. So Forerunner 935 or the Garmin Phoenix 5 would be the two. I personally prefer the 935 over the Phoenix 5 because I actually like a lighter watch personally. So I just something a little bit lighter, not as heavy as the Phoenix 5, not as thick as the Phoenix 5. From a triathlon standpoint, money no object, those are probably the top two in the market today.
And why specifically those two? So you say you prefer the 935 or the Phoenix because is it 20 or 30 grams lighter?
Yeah, that's it. It's the exact same software. So it's the same software. It's used as a plastic shell as opposed to a metal or whatever fancy metals on there on the Phoenix, but just lighter. It's a little bit thinner. I personally prefer a smaller watch. That's all it comes down to. But you know, there's so many features. I think that's one of the challenges that like SUUNTO and Polar really have in competing at the high end of triathlon is the number of features that Garmin has in the watches, whether it be things like structured workouts or running dynamics or cycling dynamics or all these different things that you could use, and you don't necessarily need to use all those features. Like I personally don't use running dynamics and cycling dynamics on a day-to-day basis, but someone else might, and therefore if you want the thing that has everything, this has everything. On the flip side, like if you look at like a budget GPS watches, for example, for triathlon.
Let's get into that. Yeah. What would be the budget triathlon watch that you'd recommend?
Yeah, for a brand new watch that's not a couple model years old, I would say SUUNTO's new SPARTAN Trainer Wrist HR. It's a super long product name.
Spartan.
The SUUNTO SPARTAN Trainer Wrist HR.
Okay.
Just came out like a month or so ago, maybe. And it's awesome. It's $275, I think, somewhere $259, somewhere in that ballpark. and it's got all the core features you want: a swim, bike, run, really nice and small watch, different colors. It's a really solid watch for what it is.
So let's go now with trainers. And again, we'll start with the money is no object.
So money is no object. I personally prefer the TACX Neo. I think it's $1,600. It's way cheaper in Europe though. So it's like 1,200-ish roughly, even 1,000 if you're really lucky to find it. So, but I like that because it's silent. It's a totally silent trainer. The only thing you're going to hear is a drivetrain, so you're, the cassette and the chain moving through it. And it can simulate different road conditions like cobblestones, and it's kind of crazy. It has absolutely almost zero training value, but it's really, really cool. On the flip side, money no object, you've also got the WAHOO KICKR plus the new Climb accessory. And that is probably the same price point. You're looking at $600 for the Climb plus, $1,200 or so for the trainer, $1,100, something like that. So yeah, you're in that same $1,600, $1,700 ballpark, but it goes up and down, and that's pretty cool. That's not shipping until November-ish, maybe December right now. So that's money no object. One of those two. I don't know which one yet. I've spent some time on the Climb, but not enough on a final unit to like really decide if it's worth it or not.
Okay, we'll go other end of the spectrum. Budget trainer.
Budget trainer. There's some great options there. I think you've got like almost two categories. You've got budget and budget plus. And the reason I say that is because in the past you had the high-end trainers at like $1,200 plus, which was all that KICKR and et cetera category. And then you had budget-ish categories of electronically controlled trainers at under $600 essentially. But then you've got the elite DIRETO, or the DIRETO trip as it's kind of been joked around, at $899, which is a really incredible direct drive trainer that if you can find a way to stretch to $899, I would do it. Like, if you were sitting there looking at the $600 trainers and going, hey, I wish I could get a direct drive, I wish I could do this, that is where I would spend just like that cheap on something else and spend the extra $200 because the feel is better, it's so much nicer trainer. You don't have to deal with the wheel portion. It's awesome. That said, if you go down below $600, TACX makes some great models below $600. I think it's the Vortex it is at $600. There's a KICKR Snap at $600. I mean, there's all these trainers, when you talk that $600 price point, are so similar that there's like minor nuances each one. Like one will be slightly higher incline, one will be slightly higher, better road feel, and so they're really similar. I'll have my full trainer annual review guide thingy up in the next week or so.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You should check that out.
So that's probably the best thing to look at. But yeah, it's definitely, they're super competitive at that range there.
Okay, and let's go bike computer to wrap it up.
So I think, the best bang for your buck these days is either the WAHOO Element Bolt or the Edge 520. In my mind, those are like the two. They're both $250. Garmin dropped their price just in the last couple weeks. They're very similar in features. Again, I'd like to pimp a post, but there's a post I did like just the mother of all detail between those two units and how there's just nuances. It's like anything else. Like there are certain things that one does better than the other. So like the WAHOO one does better on mapping for some areas, where Garmin does better on some sensors. And so you got to kind of decide what's valuable to you. But those are where I would definitely look at for all-around best bike computer that you're not going to break the bank on.
I like it. Where do you want people to check you out?
DCRainmaker.com. So just DC like District of Columbia, and then Rainmaker like it's raining, and Maker it's a horrible name when you have to like try to spell it out and
trademark it.
I didn't think
URLs.
about it. Like I got it when I was like when you choose an AOL screen name back in the day.
It was like that.
That's how it happened. Like literally, it was like I tried to choose. It was a blog spot, and I tried to choose Rainmaker, my name. It didn't work. It was like no, and I'm like, okay, Rainmaker, a play on that. That didn't work, and I'm like, okay, I'm living in DC. I'll put DC in front of it, see what happens. Accept it.
And it worked.
It worked.
Now you're married to it.
I'm so stuck with it. Yeah, and I don't even live in DC anymore. So
check them out. Fantastic resource, and yeah, basically, if you ask me any questions about tech, I'm probably going to direct you over to Ray's site.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
See ya. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Look at this. Look at this. Trainiacs. Oh my goodness. NTK did a hell of a job laying concrete while I was gone. That is a sizable slab of concrete. All right, guys, I'm home. Later.